The Attributes of God, Part 7 of 25. Impartial. Impartial means not partial and speaks of God's attribute whereby he treats all men and women equally, not demonstrating favoritism. God does not show prejudice towards or against any person or party. With an impartial hand, the Lord deals out to mortals their reward. The kind and faithful souls shall find a God as faithful and as kind. Isaac Watts, Play Hymn. Moses in his exhortation to Israel to circumcise their hearts, referring to spiritual circumcision equals not relying on works or sacrifices to attain righteousness, but personally expressing faith in God's promised, prophesied Messiah. See discussion of meaning of circumcision related to covenant, spoke the following words to motivate them to seek the Lord while he could be found. For the Lord your God is the God of gods and the Lord of lords, the great, the mighty, and the awesome God who does not show partiality, nor take a bribe. Deuteronomy 10 verse 17. For God does not delight in sacrifice, nor with burnt offering, but the sacrifices of God are a broken spirit. A broken and a contrite heart, God will not despise. Psalm 51:16, Spurgeon's note, and Psalm 51:17 note. Jehoshaphat the king of Judah warned the judges he appointed throughout Judah to think carefully before pronouncing judgment and to let the fear of the Lord be upon you. Be very careful what you do, for the Lord our God will have no part in unrighteousness, or partiality, or the taking of a bribe. 2 Chronicles 19 verse 7. Jeremiah conveys a similar thought asking, O Lord, do not thine eyes look for truth? Jeremiah 5 verse 3. In 1 Samuel the author reminds us that the Lord sees not as man sees, for man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. 1 Samuel 16 verse 7. Other passages related to the impartiality of God. Deuteronomy 10:17, For the Lord your God is the God of gods and the Lord of lords, the great, the mighty, and the awesome God who does not show partiality, nor take a bribe. Job 34 verse 18, who says to a king, worthless one, to nobles, wicked ones. 19, who shows no partiality to princes, nor regards the rich above the poor, for they all are the work of his hands. Job 36 verse 5, Behold, God is mighty but does not despise any, he is mighty in strength of understanding. Job 37 verse 24, Therefore men fear him, he does not regard any who are wise of heart. Matthew 5 verse 44, But I say to you, love your enemies, and pray for those who persecute you. 45, note, in order that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven, for he causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. Acts 10 verses 34 and 35. And opening his mouth, Peter said, I most certainly understand now that God is not one to show partiality, but in every nation the man who fears him and does what is right, is welcome to him. Acts 15 verse 8, taking his stand before his saved Jewish brethren, Peter defends God's salvation of the Gentiles, and God, who knows the heart, bore witness to them, Gentiles, giving them the Holy Spirit, just as he also did to us. 9 And he made no distinction between us, Jews, and them, Gentiles, cleansing their hearts by faith. Romans 2 verse 6, God will render to every man according to his deeds. 9 There will be tribulation and distress for every soul of man who does evil, of the Jew first and also of the Greek. 10 But glory and honor and peace to every man who does good, to the Jew first and also to the Greek. 11 Why? For there is no partiality with God. Notes on Romans 2:6, 2:9, 2:11. Thy Son thou bidst his genial ray alike on all impartial pour, to all, who hate or bless thy sway, thou bidst descend the fruitful shower. Romans 10 verse 12, note, For there is no distinction between Jew and Greek, for the same Lord is Lord of all, abounding in riches for all who call upon him. 13:4 Whoever will call upon the name of the Lord will be saved. Galatians 2 verse 6 But from those who were of high reputation, what they were makes no difference to me, God shows no partiality, well, those who were of reputation contributed nothing to me. Colossians 3 verse 25, see notes, for he who does wrong will receive the consequences of the wrong which he has done, and that without partiality. Ephesians 6 verse 9, see note, and, masters, do the same things to them, and give up threatening, knowing that both their master and yours is in heaven, and there is no partiality, prosopolepsia, word study, with him. Partiality, 4382, prosopolempsia, from prosopon equals face, presence, person plus lambano equals receive, take into account, literally means to receive face or receive one's countenance or one's person, which was a Hebraic concept, see TDNT below. The idea is that of looking to see who someone is before deciding how to treat them. In other words, one judges by appearance and on that basis giving special favor and respect, or the converse, refuses to give respect. This noun then pertains to judging others purely on a superficial level, without consideration of the person's true merits, abilities, or character. The Oriental custom of greeting was to bow one's face to the ground. If the one greeted accepted the person, he was allowed to lift his head again. The accepting of the appearance of a person was a Hebraic term for partiality. To reiterate, the meaning of prosopolepsia is to judge another on the basis of externals or preconceived notions, and thereby demonstrate partiality or favoritism. In short, it means to make unjust distinctions between people by treating one person better than another. 1 Peter 1 verse 17, see notes, and if you address as Father the one who impartially, aprosopoleptos, word study, judges according to each man's work, conduct yourselves in fear during the time of your stay upon earth. Impartially, 678, aprosopoleptos from a equals not, without plus prosopon equals face plus lambano equals receive. This verse is only scriptural occurrence, literally means, not receiving face, which then came to mean, without respect of persons. Aprosopoleptos is derived from a Hebrew idiom, to receive the face of someone, which meant to show partiality or favoritism. This word reflects the respectful Oriental greeting in which one humbly turns one's face to the ground upon meeting another person. If the person greeted raised the face of the man, this was a sign of recognition and esteem. Here the word is the opposite or negative aspect of this well-known practice and thus means, does not receive face. That is, God does not receive anybody's face. He is impartial. Outward appearance, wealth, culture, social position, family background, education, beauty, intellect, all things that more or less sway the opinions of man, do not count with God when it comes to appraising a person's character or worthiness. Related resources. Impartiality.